Hey everyone, Joe here. Welcome back to my channel. Hi to all of you guys that always stop by to see what we're up to. And for those of you that just stumbled on me, my name is Joe and I do a lot of decorating videos, especially seasonal stuff. And now we're moving into Christmas. So this is where I do really a lot of things. And I thought today I would give you a little bit of a tutorial on how to put Christmas lights on a tree. Now, I know a lot of you buy pre-lit trees, and that's the way to go, but there's never really enough lights on those pre-lit trees, and I know a lot of people like to add to them. So if you're one of those people that like to add to your pre-lit tree, or if you're one of those people who don't like a pre-lit tree because you want to change up the colors every year and make it your own, this is the video for you. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to show you a quick tutorial on how to properly put your Christmas lights on your tree to get the maximum coverage and an even look throughout. First thing I want to show you though, before we get into that, is I want to show you, these are my lights. These are lights from last year. See how they are? They're not in a big bundle. They're not like in a big jumble that I'm going to have a nervous breakdown taking them apart. So what you need to do is you need to take care the prior year, when you take your lights off, and you kind of just wrap them back and forth, back and forth, back and forth like this, and then you take the long cord and I wrap them around here and I plug it into itself and it makes it in a nice little bundle. And then what I'll do is I have bins for all my different colors, my white lights, my amber, my green, my red, and so on like that. I always think of one of my former students who actually became a police officer, and he was assigned to the building on his days off, to monitor what was going on. And I used to do the tree in school, and of course everybody used to stop by to see how I was doing and what I was doing and stuff like that. And they'd offer, they would tell me how they do their stuff, and after a while it got a little bit much. But anyway, my former student, Elvis, comes over to me one day and he says, Mrs. Sinkyu, I want to show you how I take my lights off the tree. I think you're going to like it. I said, all right, Elvis, show me what you do. And he goes, I open up the door and I just throw the tree right out to the curb, which I think of him every year when I'm taking my lights off my tree. So let's get back to what we were here for. So anyway, this is a small tree. This is just 3 feet tall, and rule of thumb is 100 lights per foot. All right, so this tree should have about 300 lights on it. So 100 lights per foot. Now what's important is you need to check your lights to see how many you can connect with one another. Now these are not LED that I'm putting on here, and there's a maximum of 3 sets that I can put together. So a maximum of 300 lights can be plugged into one another. And that's exactly what's going on in this tree. So I won't need any other extension cords within this tree, just my maximum of end-to-end 300 lights. All right, and before I actually show you how to put the lights on, I'm going to show you 2 ways that you shouldn't put your lights on. So just hold on. Okay, so what you don't want to do is you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this, okay? It might be okay for outside, and it might even be okay on a little tree like this, but it's not okay. It doesn't look right. And actually what you're going to see is a lot of wires, and you're not going to get good coverage. So don't be circling around it like a bee in a beehive. That is not a good thing to do. So we're not going to do that, and I don't suggest that you do that either. Okay, so another way you don't want to put your lights on is the way one of my former students, Juan Carlos, told me he puts his lights on, and that would be, let me see if I can get this technique right. No, not that. That. Okay, that's how he puts his lights on. Don't do that either. Okay, so you're going to want to start with this end up at the top of the tree, okay? Because you want to have your plugs going down. So what I usually do is I will start with this main stalk up here of the tree. And now obviously if you're going to put like an angel or something on here that's going to cover here, don't do that. But don't put any lights here because it's going to get hot underneath that angel. So, or star, or whatever you have. So what I'll do is, since I usually do a spray on the top, I want to put lights up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this end. And I'm going to bring the end in the back here so that you don't see it. And I'm going to tuck it into the tree. And then I'm going to wrap. I'm going to come up. And I'm going to go back down. And I'm going to pull it tight so that I have lights on the tree. Okay, now let me bring this a little closer for you. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a branch. See where I am? I'm inside here. And I'm going to wrap. And I'm going to come to the front. And I'm going to go back again to the back. See, I pulled it. I went from the back to the front and from the front to the back. And now I'm right here at the next one. I'm going to start in the back. I'm going to pull it tight. I'm going to come to the front and then back again to the back. Okay? So that there's not a bunch of wires all over. You have lights going from the inside of your tree to the outside of your tree. Again, let me just come around here. Back to front. And then back again. Okay? And then back to front, to back, and then back to front, to back. Now, as I wrap each one of these branches, I'm always going in the same direction. And in this case, I'm going counterclockwise. All right, counterclockwise. And why am I doing that? Well, I'm doing that because when I take the lights off, they'll come right off, like zzz, right away. Whereas if you go, one branch clockwise, one branch counterclockwise, and so on, you're going to have a little bit of a problem and a cursing fest when you go to take your lights off. So we don't want to do that. We want it to be as pleasurable as possible. So again, here I'm starting from the back. I'm coming all the way to the tip because I want lights on the tip, and then back again, and then I move over to my next branch. And this way, every single branch on your tree is going to have lights on it. All right, let me show you when I get these 100 on and before I start the next 100. All right, so I'm at the end of my first 100 lights. So usually you have this big long cord at the end. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this and I'm just going to make a little bit of a little loopy thing here. Now, I know I have the tag is on here, but I don't have the scissor with me right now. So I'm going to come back in later and I'm going to get these tags off here because we don't want to see those tags. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my next set right here. Okay. And I'm going to plug this set in, and this piece, this mechanics that we have right here, we want to get rid of that the best that we can. And so we want to tuck that way into the tree so nobody's going to see that. Okay. And there's a wire there that I don't like the way it looks. Okay. And now we are now into our second 100 light set. Okay. I'm bending that in to keep it there. And we're going to continue from the back to the front and back again to the back. Okay. Back, front, and to the back. And as you go along, just make sure that you've hit every single branch that you want to have lights on it, which should be every single branch. Okay? And I'll meet up with you when I get done with this 100. Okay, so there you go. It took 400 lights to get the coverage that I wanted, because at the bottom it's, it started to get a little bit wider there, but I put 400 lights on the tree and I have virtually everything covered. And if you take a look really close, you really don't see any wires, okay, which is the goal that you want. You don't want to be seeing wires. It looks very unprofessional. So there is a clump right there, but I would hide that with a nice ornament or a pick and you will never see that. And then of course you're going to have to go back and fluff out your tree once again. Okay, so there you go. There's the tree. Looks like Rockefeller Center, right? And it's only this little 3-foot tree. And it's very dramatic and it'll make a really big statement. So that's one tree down for me and only about 8,000 more that I have to do. No, just kidding, but no, like 7,000. No, you know what I mean. But anyway, so this is a great way that you can get good coverage. So remember, these are the things you must remember. Number one is start with the outlet end up at the top and then keep the plugs going down. You want to do that. If your tree is tall, you're going to have to run an extension cord up the trunk so that you can add more lights in that way. Don't be making these big long, plugs into each other. They're dangerous. Now, like I said, I don't really have a lot of LED lights, so I don't know the rules that apply for them, how many sets you can put together. But generally speaking, these incandescent lights are only 300, 3 sets per, end to end that you can do. Another important thing is remember, as you're wrapping, you start from the inside to the outside and back inside, go to the next branch, inside, outside, inside, and so on and so on. And what you want to do is you always want to wrap in the same direction, either clockwise or counterclockwise. And you got to consciously think of it for every single branch, because if you don't, when you go to take the lights off, they're not going to come off nice and easy. Next, if you like the way your lights are on the tree and then you never want to take them off again, what you need to do is you need to remember where your tree is in pieces. So say like this tree was in 3 pieces. I need to make sure that the lights end in each particular piece. Otherwise, it'll be a disaster. So like a lot of times for the bigger trees, what I'll do, like my 9-foot tree or a 12-foot tree, whatever, I actually put the bottom part down, and instead of going from the top down, I go from the bottom, and I work, like I can work right on top of that piece, and then I add the next piece in, and I can work, and then the next piece, and so on. So I hope these hints are helpful to you. I hope you can use some of these in your decorating. I know lights are always a big problem for a lot of people. They cause a lot of stress, and they shouldn't. Remember, we're decorating for Christmas, and it should be enjoyable. In my next video, I'm going to be showing how to do a couple of different toppers. I've gotten a few requests, and I want to show you how I tackle my toppers. Okay, everybody, I hope everybody's doing well. Please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my Christmas stuff. Put on your notification bell, give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment, and I'm going for 10,000 subscribers by Thanksgiving, and I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Okay, everybody, I hope everybody's great, and you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.